In our previous episode, we looked at the diamond industry and how it's making a difference in the lives of Botswana women. We took you to the Gaborone International Convention Center, where government and business leaders gathered. We then moved into the University of Botswana to look into issues of young people in business. Welcome back to Inside of Her C-Suite. Today is day 3 of the DeBeers Diamond Conference 2017. We're going to go inside of the conference to tackle all things women, women leadership. Let's do it. The National Museum in Gaborone served as a platform as women from various sectors of society gathered. DeBeers Group Executive David Yeager was among the dignitaries.
Well, we're committed to more women occupying leadership roles in our business, not just because it's the right thing to do, although that is critically important, but it's going to make us a stronger business. The research shows that the companies in the top quartile of women in leadership positions perform 15% better than their competitors in their countries who don't have women in leadership positions. So for us, it's a commercial priority, it's a business priority to ensure we have more diversity of views, more diversity of opinion, more diversity of approach at our most senior leadership table so that we can create a greater business. And one of the commitments we've made as we've partnered with UN Women is to commit to achieving parity in the appointment rate of women and men into senior roles in our organization by 2020.
More than 80% of agricultural work, but they benefit from the profits.
Inside the main venue, the audience listened attentively to inspirational stories of business success driven by women.
And you guys look not only beautiful, but you look powerful, because I know you are. I've engaged a lot of you. So why don't you just look at someone and say, you look powerful. You know you're beautiful, but you look powerful.
I also had a chance to chair some of the sessions. My guest, Karina Gorvalgasov, the editor of Mission Magazine, explained how she started her own publication from scratch.
I think it was when I was on a photo shoot in New York with a very commercial big brand. We were doing an ad campaign, which was to be viewed on Times Square. And the client, my job is to dress the models, and you should present the outfits. And we were presenting a jacket, and they said, oh, I'm not sure about the size of this button. And that day was the day my friend was having her first mastectomy because she'd been diagnosed the year before with breast cancer. So obviously, I don't care about the button. Don't really care about what the model's wearing. All I care about, my mate makes it through that 8-hour operation. But I work in the service industry, and I have had a muzzle on my mouth for 18 years. Not anymore, I don't. I just will say anything now because it's about making money for different charities and organisations. It's raising awareness and educating people on social issues.
Your collaborative model in using partners, Generation Z, all types of people, even DeBeers giving you a platform. Hopefully DeBeers is going to come on with more funding or whatever. But your partnership and collaboration model is very unique. Tell us more.
The only people we've been partnering with so far are the creative people. at the top of their game, like Dylan McGee of Makers, high-level photographers, high-level writers, and amazing like business entrepreneurial women. And last year we met with all the brands, LVMH, Kering. I flew to Milan for one day to meet with Prada, Gucci, Zegna, and I wanted to see how the Europeans felt about philanthropy, because I know it's American DNA. And when we went to Gucci, I just had, not the magazine I showed you, we had a prototype. And I'm in this meeting, and I'm with, I think it was the global advertising director, and he's flicking the page, looking at it. I didn't say anything, and I thought, oh, he thinks it's a crap idea. And then he just went, die. Why has it never been done before? He said, such a simple idea. I said, I'll tell you why. It's not about me. It's a fashion magazine, and it's a fashion kind of led, purpose-driven, but it's not about me. It's not my ego. It's not got my initials on the cover. I'm not shooting all the stories. I said, I don't want to style anything. I want to make sure this brand goes and it has integrity and we stay true to why I started it.
Lulu Rasabotsa is another influential corporate leader who also attended the conference. Your role as a director of Liberty Life Botswana is a very powerful role. When did you realize that you could be this powerful?
I think I realized this from very early in my childhood, because I've always been one of those girls as a girl child who was very assertive, very extroverted, not swayed by anything. So I think very early on in life, I knew that I was going to go places.
When was your first sort of leadership moment where you realized I can do this thing?
I think it was a primary school where I was house captain for the swimming team. So I think just taking up that role just sort of like said to me, yes, you have the potential to be a leader. Yeah.
You've learned a lot about what it takes to lead at this level. What are some of the things that you're learning that a woman needs to be able to do?
I think what other women need to know is that women by nature are leaders. And I think that's why in Setswana they say, "Mosadi ke thari ya setšhaba." That's what women do. So I think if women just embrace who they are and are just authentic about themselves, don't try to be a woman, be a woman, just know that all you're simply doing is giving guidance and leading, then I think you'll succeed.
Give us a couple of tips. Any woman who's looking to get to your level, and even if a man is watching, what are a couple leadership tips?
I think the thing about getting to the top is you need to be very deliberate. It won't just stumble upon you. But I think to actually land in a leadership position, you shouldn't sort of like just find yourself there not having gone through the ranks and not having learned by going through the ranks. Because I mean, as you go up and you learn and you don't miss any step of the way, that will make you a successful leader. Because then when you've been led, then you understand how to lead. So I think that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. DeBeers has created this platform to a large extent to create networking and mentorship models. Give us your thoughts on the power of networking and mentoring.
What I do actually at Liberty in terms of building, especially the women leaders, is I give them the opportunity to almost shadow me on a rotational basis. So when I'm not there for an event, I ask one of them to step up, to the extent where sometimes when it's just an event that doesn't really require a lot of intellect or anything like that, I'll actually even ask my PA to say, listen, I'm the face of Liberty, and being in my office, I expect you to be the face of Liberty. So step up and go and represent me. So that's what I do, because I believe really to have a successful career as a woman, it's gonna be driven by the depth and the width of your networks. So I don't wanna shine alone and think every opportunity that comes by, every invite, Lulu must be there. I happen to work for Liberty, but I'm not the only employee there. So everybody who's at Liberty should have the fair opportunity to demonstrate to the public their skills and their competencies and their knowledge. So let's all shine.
Between sessions, delegates here had the opportunity to network and compare business notes. While many of the women here ply their trades in urban areas, those based in rural Africa should not be marginalized. They too attend and had a strong voice.
Tim, it's really important to really establish the real needs, the real concerns, and the real experiences of our women.
In the masses.
And in the masses.
Yes.
And also to appreciate that women are not homogeneous. Women come in different, categories,
Sure.
the poor, the rural, the urban, and they do have really, really peculiar needs that need to be targeted, that need to be addressed specifically, taking into consideration the context and their background. UN Women and DeBeers entered into a global partnership and an agreement was signed on the 20th of September 2017 back to back the General Assembly, basically to support 3 countries in Southern Africa, Namibia, South Africa and Botswana, or the so-called diamond companies, diamond countries if you wish.
Sure.
And the focus of the program will be on women's economic empowerment. And what we'll be doing really for women in rural communities will be to strengthen their capacities as entrepreneurs so that they can be empowered economically. Most importantly, we'll develop their skills to be able to manage their businesses, to be able to manage their projects, to be able to market their goods. We really hope to emancipate women from poverty. This is a 3-year program.
How many?
And we're looking at 250 women per target area.
Wow.
And it is our hope that at the end of the 3 years, these women will have sustainable capacities to ensure that their livelihoods are actually sustainable and their communities are also economically empowered.
And to conclude the conference, delegates listened to words of wisdom from renowned South African entrepreneur Dr. Precious Motsepe. As they left the venue, they took business lessons they will hopefully implement not only to advance their careers and businesses, but also to uplift their communities.
Empowering women can be a huge multiplier for development. So the research tells us that when a woman earns a wage, she invests 90% of that wage back into her community. She buys books, she buys bed nets, she buys medicine, she buys food, and she creates jobs as well. On a country level, for the countries in which we operate, gender empowerment is a huge part of national development plans. It's seen as a core part of the economic development of our countries.
That's it from Botswana. The DeBeers 2017 Diamond Conference is a wrap. Talking sustainability, innovation, technology, and most importantly, for this show, the empowerment of women. We'll be back next week for the next episode, Insider Season.